Welcome back to Old School Sports and our OOTP 22 playthrough of the New York Yankees. We are at the start of the 2034 season. The Yankees are coming off of the best record in baseball, but we did lose in the American League Championship Series last season. Not a lot of changes to the roster. We felt like we had a real good roster last year, and the only significant change is that we did let Brian Reynolds go as a free agent, aging player, also fragile in terms of his health. And when we look at our roster, we had a great option to take over for him in Gabe Cologne, incredible prospect who just didn't get a ton of playing time as a rookie last year. You can see only 288 at-bats. He did finish... got some votes for AL Rookie of the Year, despite only 288 at-bats. A great season with a 160 OPS plus, so feel pretty comfortable that he is going to slot right into the outfield for us, and we're not going to lose much. So given that, the goal of this team is certainly to win it all this season, as it kind of always is for the Yankees. We're in pretty good shape, I think, with ownership. Their only key goal for us this season is to cut payroll to $190 million. Clearly, we're not going to do that. We're at $237 million, so they won't be happy with us as far as the profitability we generate, but hoping that the product on the field makes up for it, because we are once again with the Yankees in win now mode. Looking at our lineup, I think it's pretty good. Bo Bichette leading off, the veteran, great defensive shortstop, very good offensively. Gabe Cologne, who we talked about at DH. Dave Bravo, youngster at first base. Shiku Shu, the veteran who we did re-sign this offseason, hitting cleanup for us, playing right field. Jared Kelenic in left. Jose Montoya at second base. Mike Grimes, free agent signing from a year ago in center field. Victor Mejias, another youngster brought up through the Yankees strong farm system at third base. And then Drew Romo, one of the best defensive catchers in the game, will be our catcher. Also feel pretty good about our starting rotation, led by Bobby Chapa, Tyson Neighbors, Christian Javier in the 3 spot. Jack Leiter is our 4th starter, and then Kendon Lavelle is the final starter in our rotation. So feel that we have a team that is more than capable of winning the championship this year. If you look at the preseason predictions, that simulation has us with 99 wins, easily winning the American League East, and a little better than the Angels for the best record in the American League, and 1 game better than the Brewers for the best record in baseball. So we'll see whether or not we're able to live up to those lofty expectations. But the goal is certainly to win the AL East and hopefully use that as a springboard to win a world championship here for the Yankees in 2034. And the month of April went about as good as could be expected, as good as could ever be hoped for the Yankees. 17-4 record, obviously in first place in the American League. Already 6 games up on the Rays, 8 games up on the Orioles. No significant new injuries that we didn't have coming out of spring training, so that's positive. Still have 3 pitchers, Chris Cox, Luis Ortiz, and Zion Smith on the injured list, but no new additions since spring training, so everyone has been healthy and well so far, and hopefully can keep it that way. And of course, the minute I'm talking about keeping people healthy and well, Tyson Neighbors out day-to-day with a mild shoulder strain. Can see he's off to a good start for us with a 4-0 record, a 1.55 ERA plus. Just in the interest of pure caution, we are going to put Neighbors onto the IL for a couple of weeks, make sure that we don't exacerbate any problems he's having. 18-4 record now, so no need to be too aggressive in terms of how we are handling the pitching staff at this point. Will also give us an opportunity for the youngster Danny Harder to get a little playing time at the major league level. And I don't feel as if I was gloating about the lack of injuries just a few moments ago, but now we've just lost reliever Brian Abreu to recurring back spasms for 6 weeks. So he's going to be headed to the IL also, and Jack Leiter has back stiffness right now, which will not have a big influence on his throwing. So hopefully, might just miss one start with that, but definitely starting to have a few little issues with the team. This will give us an opportunity to see another one of our future stars, though, Reuben Mariona. Probably not quite ready, although he does have a green arrow in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, but his 3-1 record with a 2.06 ERA for the 22-year-old in Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Only 3 pitches, but they're, a good slider, a decent splitter, and a really good cutter. And, he's got a little bit above average stuff and movement and average control at this point. So we will see what the young right-hander can do at the major league level while we are down a couple of pitchers over the next few weeks. And another month is in the books, and it looks like these Yankees are potentially on their way to an absolutely historic season. 40-9 record, 816 winning percentage, up by 14.5 games already on Tampa Bay in the AL East. Only 2 months into the season. Crazy to have a 14.5 game lead when you've only played 49 games. So everything going brilliantly for the Yankees so far. You can see the youngster Gabe Cologne playing every day, batting .372, already has 8 homers and 45 runs batted in. Second in the league in ribbies, young teammate Jose Montoya, not really that young anymore, I guess at 27 years old, but another prospect who came up in our system is third in the league in runs batted in. And then looking at the pitching staff, Euricio Castillo, 6-0 record, largely in relief for us, actually, and Tim Wallace leading the league with 18 saves. So everything is going really well for the Yankees. Over the last month, we have had a couple of minor injury stints with key players, actually, with both Tyson Neighbors and Christian Javier having short 2-week stints on the injured list, just in the abundance of caution. But they are both back and healthy right now. So firing on all cylinders for the Yankees at this point. Hopefully we can keep it up for the remainder of this 2034 season and do something special with this team when we get to the postseason. And the Yankees season is just chugging along. We are at July 1st right now, 59-17 record, up by 23.5 games on Tampa Bay. No one else in the American League East is anywhere close to a winning record at this point. So just a absolutely dominant regular season by the Yankees thus far. Hopefully we can keep things going as we get into the summer here in 2034. But right now, at this point, looking at the second best team, the Astros are 10.5 games behind us in the American League. So, certainly home field advantage throughout the playoffs is not clinched less than midway through the season. But at this point, the goal for the Yankees is largely to just hopefully have everyone healthy by the time we get to October. Well, we've received our mid-year review from owner Brad Kreider. He's very excited by the team's record. We're 62-19, pretty hard not to be. Happy with how Dave Bravo is performing at first base. You can see he's batting .340 with 12 homers and 50 runs batted in 61 games played. So he has been exceptional for us this year. And he's upset that we haven't cut payroll, but I believe that the way we are performing on the field right now will overwhelm that opinion of his if we're able to, get close to 120 wins that we're on pace for now. It would be ridiculous to keep that pace up for the whole season. But we are, at this point, definitely have a chance at a historic type season for the Yankees here. And in a rare situation for the Yankees, we've made it to the trade deadline, and we are not going to do anything. We're 72-26. We're up by 25 games in the AL East. Obviously have slowed down a little bit over the last month, but still up on the Angels by 11 games for the best record in the American League, and also up on them by the same amount for the best record in baseball. So we're up 11 games on them for the best record in the AL, and they have got a 10-game winning streak right now. Just been a great season for the Yankees. We've had some little injuries here and there, nothing too major. Bo Bichette just came off the injured list. Dave Bravo's got 3 days left on it, but is completely healthy now. Just being real conservative with people as they get banged up. But, there's no telling what's going to happen down the stretch here. But right now, there's no glaring need that we have on the roster. So we are going to dance with who's brung us so far to this fantastic record and this fantastic season that the Yankees are having at this point. And the Yankees have made it to roster expansion in September. You can see our record is 90-36, up by 24.5 games on the Red Sox. Magic number is only 11 as we're entering September. So the fantastic season for this Yankees team continues on. The injury situation is still pretty good. Zion Smith with that torn labrum is the only player on the IL right now. So we're going to bring up couple of reinforcements with the roster expansion, and then just hope that everyone can kind of stay healthy for this last 5 weeks of the season or so till the playoffs begin, and then hopefully this team is positioned well for a long postseason run. A World Series championship is definitely overdue for the team, so would be great if we can get it now with a team that by far and away has been the best in the regular season in all of baseball. And in the month of September, the injuries have started. Starting second baseman Jose Montoya out with a sprained ankle for 6 weeks. It's only September 4th, so it means he will most likely miss first round of the playoffs. Had a really nice year for us, 31 home runs, 89 runs batted in, 107 OPS plus, all while playing a very strong second base. So definitely a bummer to lose him. Chris Cox is also injured with a diagnosis pending. He only very recently came off of the injured list and then did a rehab assignment in Scranton until we brought him up on September 1st. And Christian Javier is also injured with a diagnosis pending. So unfortunately, as we are getting here towards the end of the season, it looks like the injury bug, which had not had any impact at all at the Yankees for a pretty long time, is starting to rear its head a bit, unfortunately. But hopefully we can piece our way through the rest of the regular season, and hopefully those 2 pitching injuries are nothing too serious. Well, at least one of the injuries is something serious. Chris Cox with a torn flexor tendon in his elbow, out 13 to 14 months. He's already fragile. Seems conceivable that this could be a career-ending type of injury for the soon-to-be 26-year-old left-hander. But we will see what he does, but he is clearly not a part of this season's plans and unlikely to be a part of next season's plans either, unfortunately. And starting pitcher Christian Javier is also done for the year too. A partially torn labrum for the 37-year-old, going to be out 3 to 4 months. Can see he only pitched 23 games for us with a 5-4 record, a 4.25 ERA. If we're going to lose anyone in the starting rotation at this point, he would probably be the one that we would want to lose. But that being said, still not optimal. That is, we're getting into the final stretches of the season. We're starting to lose a lot of people when there's not anything that we can do to potentially bring them back. Going to be real interesting because we've got a $22 million team option for Javier next year, so that will be a interesting decision coming off of a declining player who is now suffered a pretty serious injury. But hope is that over the last month or so of the regular season, no more serious injuries for the Yankees, and we're able to be as close as full strength as possible as we head into the playoffs. But these September injuries are getting a little ridiculous. Jared Kelenic, back tightness, 1 week, nothing serious there. But Tyson Neighbors, another key starter, out with elbow tendonitis for 3 to 4 weeks. You can see he's had a really good year for us. 11-2 record with a 3.06 ERA. So definitely a loss there, but hopefully Neighbors will be back in time for the postseason. And another week, another major injury for this Yankees pitching staff. Starting pitcher Kendon Lavelle, 13-5 record, 3.62 ERA on the season, out for 13 months with elbow ligament reconstruction surgery. So a bit annoying that, the Yankees had essentially no injuries until September, and this incredible season seems to be falling apart in front of our eyes. Kendon Lavelle obviously out all of next year most likely, so definitely a bummer to lose him at this point in the season. Hopefully, with the time off that we have in the playoffs, if we don't have any other injuries, we'll be able to piece together a pitching rotation. But certainly at this point, with both Christian Javier and Kendon Lavelle and Tyson Neighbors, who we're hoping will be back, as well as Reuben Mariona, who was splitting time. He done brilliantly for the Yankees. 6-1 record with a 1.23 ERA for the 22-year-old, so he did a great job starting for us before he got hurt. Right now 4 members of the rotation on the injured list, and Tyson Neighbors is the only one that we anticipate getting back for the postseason. So definitely not a great situation for the Yankees in terms of our rotation. Going to be relying heavily on Bobby Chapa to front the rotation for us, and then hopefully can piece things together with Max Alba, Euricio Castillo, Jack Leiter, and then hopefully eventually Tyson Neighbors. But really kind of a bummer that this incredible season seems to be unraveling right before our eyes with a bunch of injuries here in September to our starting rotation. And just place the young infielder Victor Mejias on the injured list also, where he joins Jose Montoya. Montoya most likely going to be out for a first-round playoff series. Definitely will be out for a first-round playoff series with 3 weeks of injury time left. Mejias more precautionary, only 1 week of injury, but just don't want to fool around with any more potential issues with this team as we try to stay healthy with this MASH unit as we get closer to the playoffs. And as we head into the final week of the regular season, Victor Mejias, glad that we put him on the IL, but his recovery is going slowly from that hyperextended ankle. Still hopefully a week or two until he can return to action. So we are definitely in a situation where we are going to potentially be down a lot of our starting rotation and half of our starting infield for a first-round playoff series, although Tyson Neighbors is eligible to come off of the IL as today. So hopefully we can get him a start before the postseason, and he handles that well as we try to prepare for this postseason run. And now center fielder Mike Grimes out with a hamstring strain for 6 weeks. So our starting center fielder is going to now miss all of the playoffs. Second straight year that we will not have him for the postseason. He only played half of the season last year and then got injured. This year he played a full year for us. Solid season offensively, respectable season offensively, 16 homers, 70 ribbies, only a 92 OPS plus, 97 WRC plus, but has a really outstanding outfield range and is a very good defensive center fielder. So a bit of a bummer that this injury bug is just not getting any better with this Yankees team as we are now in October and closing in on the end of the season. It's been a brilliant season so far. You can see a 109-47 record, although our winning percentage has dipped below 700 now for the first time. But we've lost half of our starting rotation and closing in on half of our starting lineup with injuries that are going to have them out for at least a first playoff series, if not longer, and in most cases much longer than that. So definitely not a great finish to the season here for the Yankees, but we'll try to wrap up this final week without any more injuries and see who we're going to be facing in the playoffs. Well, thankfully, we've gotten to the end of the regular season. You can see here 113-49 record, 29 games ahead of the Red Sox in the American League East. Looks like the Red Sox and the Angels will be playing in the wild card game, so likely we'll be facing a team in the first round of the playoffs that is 20 some odd games behind the record that we put up. That 113 wins for the Yankees, the most in baseball, and the only 100-win team. Milwaukee led the National League with 99 wins. So just a brilliant regular season for this Yankees team. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. The injury situation is still not good at all for the Yankees as we kind of prepare. Starting pitchers, Christian Javier, Kendon Lavelle, and Reuben Mariona are all absolutely out for the playoffs, as is relief pitcher Chris Cox. Mike Grimes definitely out for the playoffs in center field. The question is whether we will get Jose Montoya or Victor Mejias back, our starting second baseman and our starting third baseman. Montoya has a week left to recover from the sprained ankle, so pretty unlikely that we will have him for the first series. Mejias has been unknown injury duration with that hyperextended ankle. We had put him on the IL as a precaution, I think at this point, close to 3 weeks ago, when it was only expected to be about a week-long injury. The recovery time is now unknown. We'll have to decide whether we want to put him on the roster in that injured state with the hyperextended ankle. Looks like it's not going to have a big impact on hitting or throwing, but definitely a moderate impact on running for the young infielder who had a very good year for us before he got hurt. 17 homers, 72 runs batted in, 43 doubles, batted .315 for us with a 128 OPS plus. So a really nice offensive season for the third baseman. We'll see what happens in the playoffs in our next episode. It has obviously been a fantastic regular season for the Yankees. Won the American League East by almost 30 games. So our position on top of the AL East and our position with the best record in the American League were never really in doubt when we got off to that 40-9 start at the end of May. But the injuries now make us a much weaker team as we head into the playoffs than we have been for most of this regular season. So we will see what happens in our next episode. Until then, we will celebrate a excellent regular season by the Yankees. Would love to hear your comments down below as to what we maybe should think about doing as we head into the playoffs. But we will focus on the playoffs and a full recap of this 2034 season in our next episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching and hope you have a great day.